Franchuk, Lloyd from the Daily Herald. We're here Wednesday night, Cougar Tipoff. BYU gets off to a good start. BYU wins season opener. You know, it's 84-70. The blue team won. Whatever the colors mean, all you have to know is Tyler Haws, 26 points to lead the winning blue team. He comes back from his mission, 9-17 from the field. Brandon Davies led the white team, 20 points, didn't even play the second half. And Jared, what are your first impressions of this team as the Iona game from last March blares over the speakers? And we're a long way from March, but first thoughts on the Cougars as we get underway at the Marriott Center.
Well, you got to like what you saw from Haws in this particular game. He came out, you know, he missed a couple of shots early. I think he made, you know, a lot of those misses came early on when he was still kind of feeling out the legs, but once he got those legs, that jump shot is so smooth. I mean, that guy knows how to elevate over defenders. You know, if he gets a good look, he just has a very nice stroke. And BYU fans, they needed that last year. I mean, they missed out on having his ability to shoot the ball. That mid-range to long-range jump shot is just a very nice addition to this team. He's going to play a big role. You know, I don't think there's any doubt about that, and the team needs him to step up. Coach Rose talked about after the tip-off game here that it's still a young team. And Tyler Haws is just a sophomore. He's going to need to have a leadership role. He was named a captain today, if I remember correctly. They're looking to him to do big things.
Yeah, you look, Jared, at some of these returners. We mentioned Brandon Davies, also Matt Carlino, just looks stronger at the point guard spot. A little more physical build, probably about the same weight, 175 pounds. But what's your take on Matt Carlino and where he stands as far as what they need him to do this year? Because they don't need him to shoot it quite as much, it seems like, and they're trying to use him a little differently.
Well, and I think that's what he's got to understand. He's got to understand that there's a time and a place to take the shot. There's a time and a place to drive the basketball, get to the hole, you know, make something happen, get fouled, do things like that. But he also needs to continue to pass the ball around. He's got great eyes. He sees the floor very well. He made a very nice pass on a fast break between three defenders, slipped it through. I believe it was to Josh Sharp on that particular play, and you know, Sharp got an easy layup. But he's got the ability to really facilitate this offense. That's the most important thing for him. Facilitate first, score second, drive, you know, score and drive. That's the second most important thing. He needs to get the ball moving and not just get it stuck in his hands like he did sometimes last year.
Yeah, there's also some relatively new guys on this team. You talk about Josh Sharp, Coach Rose, like the way Josh is bouncy, kind of like his high school days. He was rushed into last season, never quite that athletic, got that athletic ability back, Jared, but he had a big-time dunk today. Josh seems like he's going to provide something to this team this year.
Well, that dunk was probably the highlight of the entire evening. I mean, he went up and right over Agostino. That you and I were talking about it. He might be seeing that, you know, he might be seeing that for a few weeks, because that was impressive. He elevated up, you know, made a smart play. I thought Josh played smart most of the game. And you know what Coach Rose said about him is he's very active on the glass, and that's really helped him on the offensive boards. BYU needs that type of guy. You know, whenever you can get an extra possession in college basketball, that's valuable. And Josh is a high-energy player that when he's on the floor, you know he's going to be going after the rebounds at both ends, trying to get his team that extra possession, get out and run, and we know he can finish now. He's shown what he can do at the rim.
Yeah, the two biggest tidbits really from the tip-off, Jared. Brandon Davies ends up sitting out the second half, precautionary. He's been getting beat up in practice, has some back soreness, and then he took 2 hard falls. And then Stephen Rogers, Jared, another guy this season, goes down, joining Chris Collinsworth. The toughest thing, Jared, they can't reuse those 2 scholarships right away. They cannot redistribute them because they started the semester with those guys on the team. And is it going to be tougher, Jared, would you say, in practice or games without 2 guys of their caliber?
Well, I think it's going to be tougher in practice, and the reason I say that is because neither of those guys have been able to stay on the floor consistently for a long time. These players that are out here on the floor, you know, that are playing this year, have know what it's like. You know, don't even know. A lot of them don't even know what it's like to have Chris Collinsworth and Stephen Rogers on the floor, because those guys just got so dinged up. But in practice, that experience, that leadership, that ability to understand the offense and direct the younger players, help them learn where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing. That's valuable even if they can't be out there and actually playing. So in my opinion, that's what's going to hurt. And that loss of leadership is something BYU has to address and might make a difference early on in this year. Yeah,
so the Cougars will open Friday with an exhibition game here at the Marriott Center. Jared Lloyd, Jason Franchuk, Richard Threesdale. I'm going to try that out for basketball season for the opener. So good night. See you Friday. Football and basketball are both here. Great time of year.